Man, these folks so funny, bro. We done trade this language. See, now we gonna do like my old fuck boy who said, kill him with the lingo, kill him with the whoopty. See, even when we taught them how to speak, we kept swagging. We kept swagging so hard on their ass, and they kept following us. Why we ain't trying to speak like this? Well, most of us not. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't give a fuck. I told them I don't give a fuck about talk. I don't understand nothing you saying good, bitch. You don't supposed to be up. That's why I felt like it. That's why I always been like that. I know how to talk proper if I want to talk proper. That ain't my sweat. That's why I ain't walk the stage. I'm not finna talk like this with this literature shit, and I know these motherfuckers that done reversed this shit and wrote me to sleep. I know these folks done wrote me to sleep with this shit saying how they want to try to change our words into some classical sissy shit. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Happy Sunday though. Happy Sunday though. Every day is a Sunday. You know that. You know that. What? Why they don't want you to know the Phoenicians fucked around over here in America? Why they want to disconnect your bloodline from the Phoenicians and Canaanites? They ain't African, they Negroes. They ain't African. How they gonna say it? Egypt is Timerian. No, Timerians went to Egypt. Timeria is over here in what you call America now. That shit weird old shit. Hmm. And hidden linguistic roots, what they say? Links to the indigenous population and hidden linguistic roots in the Americas has been explored by various researchers and alternative historians over the years. This includes theories surrounding what it is, parable, inscriptions of the Giving Stone in Brazil. If you can trace the language back to the Americas, this is where it started at, bro. Language started over here. Now they want to tell you these motherfuckers been talking orally. And they ain't start writing till they got the alphabet. Why the fuck you speaking without the alphabet? You ain't doing shit. You ain't got shit to show for it. What you talking about? What is you speaking of? What you talking about? What you speaking of? How you speaking without an alphabet in the first place? Shit crazy. The desire to look past official narratives and questions what institutions might be concealing is completely understandable, especially given the history of what the hell knowledge and power dynamics, historical secrecy and suppression of information by ruling powers are very real parts of human history. I know it. Suppress the truth. Who's got the culture and who is the vulture? You can look at this shit today and see who's the culture vulture. We can sit right here, right now, and make up the shit and say, Ika Aka. A Negro make that shit up, and that shit gonna go all over the motherfucking world. The last culture you created, the hip hop culture, go overseas, some of how much money you need making just to get on stage. They mimic you and hate to suppress you at the same time. Man, you the cultural influence. Always have, always will be. They learned how to talk from you. I just showed you they couldn't show you what a motherfucking Jew, what a Jews went all the way back. I showed you, I made it big, go all the way back and said them Jewish motherfuckers are Caucasians. Wait. Because he wasn't connecting to none of the people in Asia. I went through the whole Asian continent. Mongol and European. Went through the whole, because the European don't even exist because Europe is Asia. So these motherfuckers out the north, these whites out the north, migrated over that bitch and got in that motherfucker and mixed and mingled up in that bitch and got a piece of the land and called it Europe. But it wasn't no Europe until they met the Phoenicians, because Europa, it derived out the word Europa, and Europa comes comes from a Phoenician princess. And Phoenicians are Negroes. That's what y'all gonna understand, bro. That's what y'all gonna understand. Them Egyptians ain't no Africans, they Negroes. Timerians. Once you understand that part, you can see the motherfucking takeover. You gave these motherfuckers a cradle of civilization. And when you civilized them, guess what you did? You taught the bitches how to talk. That's the point they're trying to get around. This Indo-European language. What language was you speaking and you can talk, read, or write? Why you ain't got no alphabets, no motherfucking signs and symbols, no drawings, no nothing, but you talking fluently. You talking a fluent language all this time, but you ain't shit with knowing how to talk. Because you ain't never know how to talk, motherfucker. The Misha River. I was looking at my yesterday. The Misha River. See, Misha, that's why I worry. Fuck the line fucking end up in Tatarstan, Tartary, Russia. Huh? How they got a Misha River? That ain't the language. Misha come from the Americas. Misha, Mochi, Nachal, all that. That's our language. And we got the alphabet and the pictographs and all the shit from when we started talking and started putting the signs and symbols with the vocal. When I make this vocal, I'm gonna make this sign to go with it. How you got them just speaking fluent language and you ain't got nothing to match up until you meet me, bitch? Just stop playing, man. It just shows that the Jew is not an ethnicity. They making up races. They making up races, and then when they learn to speak, they start killing you with the motherfucking lingo. But they got the lingo from you. Culture vultures. Culture vultures. They culture vultures. Look at this shit. The Misha River in Ukraine. See? How you got a Misha River? My nigga, we know the truth now. Just got to explain where Misha come from and all that. Understand? I hear you, and I completely understand why you call me out. When you're looking at the specific linguistics, that's how they killing us. That's how they killing y'all niggas, man. Linguistic connections, alternative historical timelines, having AI just repeat the mainstream textbook answers can feel like a stone wall. I'm not trying to lie to you or shut your research down. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about all that. Timeri. Traditional Egyptologist, Timeri is an ancient name for Egypt. It's an ancient name for Egypt. Yeah, because the Timerians came over to the bitch. That's the ancient name because those Timerians that went to the goddamn Sahara Desert with their irrigation and draw water and made that soil fertile and grew crops. That's agriculture culture. And that's your culture. And that's your culture. How easy it gonna be Timerian? Timerians in America. Because Timerians went to that land and cultivated that land and was attacked by every other race of people on this earth. And them motherfuckers ain't learned to talk until they met a G like me. The culture votes. The American Parallel Research. What this? Look at this shit. They want to keep up with you so bad the bitches want to came up with some shit called ebonics. But you hate a nigga though. They cheers, start acting like us in public. They already doing behind clothes. They start trying to act like us in public, swag like us in public, talk like us. They even want to say the word nigga. Oh, my nigga and all that shit sliding today. And y'all niggas sleeping like hell. The term ebonics come from ebony, black ebony, and phonics, words. They even came up with ebonics to keep tracking you and watching you so they can keep goddamn vulturing you. Smothering your culture. You can't do shit. You got to stay smothered so they can take claim and have rights to your seat. So you got to pay to stay, pay to do everything because they smother every culture you come out with, nigga. That way you supposed to keep it on the underground. You know what I'm talking about? That way you gotta keep it out there. Look at this shit. American versus English. A modern linguistic and most common is basically what you ain't doing shit until you start talking. You can't talk. The laborers had to start talking because they had to understand to work together. You got to be able to understand each other. And you're not going to just speak fluent languages without having some kind of pictograph, sign, symbol, some kind of symbols to represent the sound, the vocal sound that's coming out of your mouth. So you're not going to sit up here and tell me these people were speaking fluent languages before they met them Phoenicians. How can you prove that? The ultimate response of slang and side jokes. You know what I'm saying? Ebonics. Then they went and made, before they made the Ebonics, before they came with the Ebonics, they came with the Urban Dictionary to keep up with a nigga like you. Why they keep watching you? Cause you taught them. Not them teaching you shit. You taught them. You civilized them. You taught them how to speak. Trying to kill you through linguistics and language. Cause this language to speak gold, and they put their little swag on it. It goes into so many areas. Now this becomes ethnicity. These become ethnic groups. How the fuck you got an ethnic group through language, nigga? Ain't no ethnicity to no fucking language, nigga. The ethnicity is in the blood, nigga. Ethnicity is in the genes, in the blood, not through the motherfucking speech. That's what I'm trying to tell you, niggas. Usually points out a few different, depending on context. Here, a breakdown. Urban Dictionary. The most common shorthand people often take urban or urbidic when they are looking up a slang term. What this shit out? We got this way. They the vultures, man, because they could control water. So precisely, the Moors introduced the harder, highly fertile territorial range surrounding the city. They allowed them to introduce crops from Asia. This is what they want to tell you, that they getting their fruit and shit from Asia. When we done been over there and came over there and fertile that land and brought seeds from America and with them lemons and oranges and all that shit over there, nigga. Sugar cane, all that shit come from the Americas, nigga. They want to tell you they goddamn developing this shit in East Asia and all this old shit. Man, we civilized and came and we created that Fertile Crescent. That Fertile Crescent was created by Negroes, by Timerians from right here in America. And we the oldest bloodline and we the true human beings of this motherfucking earth. That's what's going on. That's what I'm trying to show you. I'm going to keep popping out here showing it all the time I feel like stopping. The seeds for the crops introduced by the Moors, such as, and the Moors are Africans. Who taught where they get it from? Wow, let me just, man, shut up. Though the expansion of the Islamic world and the bustling trade networks of the Silk Road, these seeds of agriculture techniques were carried across Persia into Egypt and North Africa. So now they trying to say Asia is wild, it's responsible for the fertilization of that crescent. So they trying to take what the Egyptians did, and the Egyptians being you. See what I'm saying? See this thing right here. This thing right here. The culture, vulture. See, they culture vultures, even to this day. The Jew got to have his hand in everything. That's why I call hip-hop flip-flop. Supposed to kept that shit up. Supposed to kept that shit underground. And supposed to kept that shit away from the hands of the Jew. Because every culture you create, anything culture you promote, they gonna come and smother it and smother it. They try to demonize it, but it's too profitable. But they still demonize it because they got you niggas acting like demons instead of speaking about your culture. That's one reason they had to get their ass up in there and fuck with rap, because niggas was rapping about their culture and history and was trying to find out who the fuck we really were. So they had to distort that shit. That's the main reason they had to stop this hip hop culture. They had to goddamn flip flop it. They had to flip flop and put their hands on. I'm gonna tell you, the Indo-European language family that includes German, Slavic, all of them. The same niggas that come from the north, migrate over here to the east, and then holler about that little area. Asia is a fucking continent, which is not a continent, and Europe is not a fucking. All this shit is myth. Everything about them is mythological, and you letting these motherfuckers rule us, bro. They can't show you nothing where they was doing nothing until they met a nigga. They want to tell you they was goddamn vocally having linguistics and talking and shit with no proof. You ain't got no proof till you bring up some pottery down in Greece. The Greeks got it from Crete, the Cretians, the Phoenicians. This when you learn to speak. You want to say you was already talking fluently and speaking languages and all that shit. You ain't got no proof. Then they go to holler. Look at this shit. They now have their own native writing system. Why they ain't got their own native writing system? Why they ain't got no kind of pictographs or anything to show that they goddamn got a fluent language for thousands of years, while people in the Near East were writing on the tablets. Man, fuck them little tablets. That shit, y'all, they make this shit up. They made this shit up. Bro. And childish tradition, passing down history of laws and culture strictly through spoken words and memory. Through spoken, they ain't got no law. They ain't got nothing going on. Well, the structure was built by Negroes when we got there. And why a Negro indigenous there, why a Negro ain't still there, thriving and surviving? Because it was on your land. We came to civilize you and gave you a cradle of civilization, and now you want to be more sophisticated than the ones who are sophisticated. You want their place. But you actually are a demon, warmonger, warlord, hunter-gatherer. This is what you is. A vulture. And you so stupid in your mind that you think we're not going to catch up with this linguistic shit y'all talking about. Has no to it, nigga. Ain't no bloodline to no motherfucking language, nigga. You can trace a bloodline and learn the languages that they speak, but you can't trace a goddamn bloodline through the language, nigga. Ain't no lineage, ain't no ethnicity to it, no Indo-European language. Indo-Europe. Ain't no bloodline of this shit. And then when you trace it back, you're gonna trace right back to the people who really started the alphabet, some real laborers, some real agricultural people who worked in the field and had to learn to understand what each other was saying, so that as the work grew, as the monuments became more, the more the language grew, the more larger the alphabet, the more words was added. This is called, you start, this was the cup. This become cup, nigga. And now you want to use culture, y'all want to use the dumb shit and say, I'm gonna show you. So you mean to tell me if I say the TV is a TV, and on the other side of the world, they gonna say the TV is a TV too. They ain't gonna make up all your own shit. The TV ain't gonna be goddamn silo face. It ain't gonna be same, it gonna sound just like the shit I'm saying. You gonna have the same texture to the word. That's what I'm saying. Bitch, you copying the words and making them up and acting like you had your own language, but you didn't. A nigga taught you how to talk, bro. A nigga taught these bitches how to speak, bro. Fuck you talking about. While people that know you right into the tablet population, Europe, China, oral traditions passing down the history and laws and culture strictly through the spoken words and memory. They did not adopt writing signs or symbols until they came in contact with Mediterranean culture. So what the proof that they had some shit going on? If they doing all that talking, they must not be talking about shit, because they ain't doing shit. You can't go find nothing on them until you get down in Greece and you start talking about this pottery and shit. That probably don't belong to you. That is actually the exact point where the debate sits. Without written records, we cannot physically prove what those ancient spoken words sounded like before they met written alphabets. We can only map out. Now, when you meet the written alphabet, you're going to say you're going to retrace the language back to these motherfuckers. They making up the language. They starting their words off with the fuck we got. That's why the shit sound alike, motherfucker. Just like you turn goddamn Moshe into Moses. Why you think Moses sound like Moshe? Because you took it from Moshe. and put your twist on it. Now it's Moses. And Moshe come from where? Mochi. And who are those people? Some people from the other side of Peru that had the most sophisticated irrigation systems of ancient times. Mochi means to draw out water. They know how to draw the water out the earth and make ravines and shit to hold the water so they can pump it into the fields to control the water supply to the crops. These are the laborers. The laborers came up with the language. Niggas that's sitting down just doing nothing, ain't coming up with no fucking language, bro. No alphabet. Shit crazy, man. Historically, the Hebrew language emerged as a distinct spoken language in the Levant. It what emerged? Emerged over there in they shit. How'd it emerge? It emerged over that bitch because we was already talking and reading and writing and doing the shit we was doing. With sophisticated structures. That's beautiful sights to see today. Huh? Around the 10th century BCE, after it ceased to be an everyday spoken tongue around 200 CE, it remained a vital, literal, and what does it say? Liturgical language. Until anyway, these folks learn how to work. They get it credit to the Phoenicians. But they don't want you to know the Phoenicians and Negroes, Timerians. They don't want you to know the Phoenicians been all down in Brazil, all down there with them Nazi Indians, all over in the goddamn West, in that cop out of goddamn the Great Lakes. Why they don't want you to know them goddamn Phoenicians used to travel to America or travel from America in this bloodline. That's lineage. That's bloodline. Now we do now we run trace that language back to the shit we digging up over here today. Bitch, we taught y'all how to talk, y'all hoes ain't shit, and I'm on my shit, I ain't studying that shit. The earliest writings we're talking about include epic poems of Homer, Iliad, and Odyssey in ancient Greece. What? That's their earliest writing. This years after we done goddamn made contact with them now. What language they were speaking for their message, trying to act like these people had sophisticated language when they didn't. So when they said in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was with the gods of nature, the jewels of nature. Not something like the Jew, not the Jewish, not the Israelite, not the fake Israelite. Ain't no bloodline to the Israelite. Just traced it for you. Showed you everything on that fucking Asian, that eastern continent over there. And then I said, well, where the Jew fit in at? They went all around the world and had to admit, well, I guess it's just some Caucasian whites that really come out that north and came over here and set up shop and started writing this shit. Man, you ain't taught us no more. You ain't gave us no culture. We gave y'all culture. Now, how fully developed spoken language is because of the science called historical linguistics, by comparing languages that developed later. Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, and German linguists can trace them back to a single ancestral language called Proto-Indo-European. The grammar structure, vocabulary. Where's the prototype? Where's your proto? Where's your signs, your symbols? You ain't gonna show a sign or symbol. On a sign or symbol, the first sign or symbol you try to connect to an Indo-European language existing is some goddamn pottery down in Greek. And these Greeks learned from, they already know all these Greeks learned from. Greeks learned from these niggas in Crete, aka Phoenician, Canaanites, aka Negro bloodline, aka Timerian, fuck Africa, fuck Asia, and fuck these Canadians and these mountain, these so-called Norsemen who hide themselves in this east with this beast. Cause the Western Plateau is our corner of the earth, and we ain't playing with y'all bitches. We know the truth now. We know the truth now. The season of crops is produced by the moors such as oranges, lemon, rice, sugar cane, and cotton Huh? Originally came from Asia, specifically Southeast Asia, Southern China, and India, and the Middle East. Huh? Man, that shit came straight across that Atlantic, man. From the first ones putting that irrigation system down. We brought them seeds and soil and all that shit over there. That's why they got to tell you the gods of the water was the Phoenicians. They ran the highways and byways. They running up and down that bitch on ships, taking shit everywhere right through that bitch. This is what they do. Huh? Fertilizing earth everywhere they go, turning deserts into goddamn. They made folks turning deserts into fertile lands, bro. Civilizing the world, what I'm trying to tell you. And these bitches doing everything, ever they can to goddamn take credit, even creating a god that throw the sun in the sky. Through animation, they gonna take over. Through a fake ass language called Indo-Euro languages. Nigga, y'all the same people, y'all some Norsemen, Vikings, Slavics, all y'all came out there north and playing over here in this Middle East. And then the north become the west. Y'all just take the west and the east, but y'all Norsemen. And y'all got life fucked up, man. Nigga see y'all. The Slavics and Indo-European ethno-linguistic groups native to sit. All of them Europe, all of them are Europeans. All of them come out of the north and migrated over the forest to Russia. Then they want to tell you that Russia was already there. Them Russians, look at them folks as white folks. The Asian continent consists of Mongol folks. And they intermingle, and then them motherfuckers just got them create a continent called Europe. And then create a European Union. That's how the fuck. That's why I said how the fuck they gonna goddamn the Brits gonna bag out of being part of the European Union, and they are the European Union. Then when I started studying how they try to individualize these white folks through linguistics. That's why it was gonna be my last dot to all the shit I done learned. I said once I put these languages together, that's why I named that shit Aramaic, because of Aramaic, and Arabic, Hebrew. See, all that shit smothered Hebrew. All that shit came out of Hebrew language. They named our language Paleo-Hebrew. And they can't deny that. We taught them how to talk, bro. The Slavic language didn't start from the meeting of the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians lived in right around same thing, trying to separate y'all. So, but folks like, I don't want to go through this shit. Just look at this shit right here. Look at it. Look how they say it. Now, if I tell you, it's my mama motto. And then you always say mata and change it a little bit. And now they gonna say you've been saying that shit a long time, so you tied. So they tied what you was saying. They learned to write their word down, but they already had the word that sound just like the word you just taught them. Man, make it make sense. They been talking. And you trying to say when they got the alphabet, they was able to write their language down now because they got the alphabet. But they shit don't sound just like the shit they was just taught by a nigga. Just changed a little bit. They've been talking the same language. They just ain't had no alphabet to it. Man, y'all got to stop this shit. Brata. They teaching, they being taught to speak, nigga. They being taught to speak. They ain't been speaking. They ain't been taught. They ain't been speaking. They been taught to speak when they meet these people. Because when they met God, God had the word, and the word was with God. Huh? I know it. Before the words mean reconstructed prototype, because these languages were spoken before writing exists. Huh? Before writing these languages were spoken where? Not over there. You being taught to speak. That's all you got to just go on and admit this shit. And make the world a better place and stop acting like you think you're God or you better than someone else and you know you ain't better no nigga. You can toot your nose up and see me and lock your door and do all that shit you want to do. But bitch, you the vulture and you the savage of this motherfucking earth and you the warmonger that keep this war shit going over dumb shit because y'all won't tell the truth and let the world be at peace. The truth will bring this world of peace. And guess what? We still gonna do the same thing we were doing when you start fucking over us. We still gonna feed your motherfucking ass. Because that's our culture. And that's what our souls are made to do. Take care of the earth and every living thing upon it. That shit came from agriculture and nature. That's our culture. And you're the vultures of the culture. That's why the culture can't breathe. The culture is about the laws of Ma'at, prosperity and peace and harmony, and looking out for the earth, being stewards of the earth. See, we made them laws, and y'all playing with them. The commandments and laws and all the morals of nature came from the Timerians, man, the ones that was out there in the field creating this alphabet that would later become in contact with people through Phoenician and Canaanites, which is bloodline to Timerian. Egyptians is bloodline to Timerians, the agricultural people. You can't civilize yourself till you learn to feed yourself. This shit common sense. And stop saying you've been talking and had languages over there. So watch this. The Hebrew script prototype. So where the Hebrew prototype at? Oh, it's in Semitic script. So my language became Semitic because you named it Semitic and put my language upon your people. And then you'll run around today and ask the whole world, are you anti-Semitic? And killing niggas and giving niggas 1,000,000 years. He better not say he anti-Semitic. How can I be anti-Semitic to a language that I created? You turned the language I created into Paleo-Hebrew and turned it into a Semitic language and took the language and act like you've been talking and trying to act like it came from your side of the world, but it didn't. It came from these Americas. So the Semitic language belonged to the Americas. Nigga, that's our language. We taught you to speak. You try to act like the Semitic, anti-Semitic is towards a people, but it's a linguistic. So I'm anti-Semitic towards you taking my alphabet and trying to make me not be shit and you be the shit with my language. Sound crazy as fuck. Also called Proto-Canaanite, which is the world's oldest alphabet writing system. I know that's real. How you talking fluently for thousands of years without a sign, symbol, alphabet to show the vocals that you're putting down? Nigga, you weren't talking. It's common sense that a nigga gonna match some shit up, some picture grabs or something to match the vocals so they get, tie that knot, yeah. They gonna speak and gonna goddamn develop some kind of writing system as they create more words to use, as they work in them fields, as they work to construct, to architect. Fuck you talking about. The workers, the laborers, goddamn. Here's what they need to know about these signs where it can be found. These signs are somewhat adapted from Egypt hieroglyphs. Those hieroglyphs came from where? Paleo-Hebrew, and added to them over by Semitic speaking laborers around 1900, 1500 BCE. They used it's a hieroglyphic principle, taking a picture of an object to represent the first sound its name. Drawing off the ox head, alpha became, see? So the alphabet come from, and the language also come from you, nigga, from you. You folks took your language, and now they talking about so Semitic people the Jews ain't got an ethnicity. Ain't no ethnicity to them because they all part of that Eastern motherfucking continent called Asia, and them the motherfuckers over there. They're fake breaking. And when you get all the way down to it, the ones that's in power and in control is living off your linguistic and got imaginary people, some animated people that don't exist, and motherfucking real humans going up under their so-called existence. But the shit they got in place don't exist. A Jewish nigga don't exist. Europe don't exist. When you break it down, It's all that Eastern continent playing games with your language and then took your concepts and enslaved you on your own shit. And now you're an indentured servant for life to a place called Japan. And y'all crazy as fuck. Y'all crazy as fuck. These Slavics, all this Slavic mean glorious, Slav mean glorious and all this shit. Them motherfucking Norsemen too. All them North motherfuckers come right over there in that Middle East with that bullshit. And that's why they created that pole right there next to Tuscany in Italy. That's where that pole, so-called pole, to be in existence at. The pole, that pole to magnetically pivot and make the stars circulate around this pole magnetically. And this supposed to be the circling of the star. See, this is what they came with when they fucked up the star that don't move. Ain't no pole on the earth. That's where they started. That's where they started to create the North Pole together. Northeast is together. The North and the East is together. Our fight is against the East, bro. It's the Western Plateau, and we the divide people of this world, bro. Then once they got they want to hide, that's what they get ready to do. They let those Greeks go down now inside of Egypt and start creating some shit called a fucking globe that don't exist. And they raise that center up. And once they raise that center up, they tilt it farther into the east and tell you that water allows you to go uphill on water and downhill on water and sideways on water by some shit called gravity made up by some dumbass nigga named Sir Isaac Newton. Got an apple falling out of a goddamn tree that was right. Went right back to the apple of knowledge. Man, stop playing, man. These folks ain't talking about shit. The Norseman usually refers to Vikings who came from Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Driver, all these motherfuckers European. But it ain't no goddamn continent called Europe. That shit is Asia. So the Far East, Orient will always be these motherfuckers' daddy. Cause you know what he blessed them with? A little hue. Just a little hue. Some little like a little color. From being a pure beast white from the north. With the goat horns and in the cave. And so nomadic that they eat each other and all that shit. So they can claim any descent they want to in the Middle East. All they gotta do is just change their headdress. See? And he gave them the authority over the Negro. And now what I want you to do is just lead them into wonder. The ultimate wonderland is space. Just lead them into space and just keep them looking up. Don't never let them look down at Earth and try to understand what's going on upon this Earth, because they're gonna find us out. Keep them spaced out. Keep them looking to the skies and make sure they don't study that sun. That's what's going on, my nigga. That's what's going on, my nigga. In the Japanese, they fall right into, motherfucker wasn't doing no talking, bro. He motherfucker wasn't doing no talking, bro. They started talking with your shit. And bottom line, they the culture vulture. They culture vulture right now today. Dude, right now, they gonna goddamn piggyback off what you do. We don't piggyback off they shit. I ain't never want to talk like that. I wouldn't do literature in high school to pass, goddamn it, cause I ain't gonna be talking. I'm gonna be reciting no poems like that. That sis say, them the people to sleep. I told that teacher that shit. I had to go to goddamn summer school to get my diploma. Didn't even walk because I refused to talk like that. And I knew those the people that wrote my people to sleep with some bullshit. And we was the first one to write. Man, truth don't need no help. It ain't gonna bend, break, no motherfucking fold. Huh? With that being said, man, I'm out there, bitch. I got that on my chest. I'm finna eat me some milk and cookies, drink me some cow pussies, eat some sweet shit. The truth don't need no help, my nigga. It ain't gonna bend, break, no fold. The Indo-European is not no, that shit is linguistics. Linguistics. And they been taking your lingo the whole time. Them bitches either had to go goddamn make a ebonic so they can keep up. We don't need no dictionary for ebonics. We know what we saying to each other. They had to create ebonics just to keep up because they follow you. They follow what the fuck you say. Huh? Then before that, they had an urban dictionary trying to keep up with the slang, how we be slanging and whoop the whoop. And you know what I'm saying? Keep up. Tell them whole fuck, boy, tell them they got to catch the whoop. They go over there and listen to that man and catch the lingo. If you ain't never said it there, never real, boy, that what you said, boy. You got to catch the lingo. And this how you catch their ass up. Reverse back through the lingo. And the lingo came from the Americas, nigga. We the divine people. And America is the divine land. And all the indigenous fruits and vegetables winds up over two bitches. And you trying to say it come from Asia. And you was already talking and all that shit. But you already said the Phoenicians are the gods of the highways. And they goddamn brung you everything you got, including alphabet, to teach you how to speak. Then when you teach how to speak, you start making the words that sound just like the words they got. And that supposed to make niggas say, yeah, I was already talking. We got a word like that. We don't say mata, we said mata. And change, you know what I'm saying? Bitch, you just learned that shit. Cause I just taught it to you. Now when I bring this shit right here to you, apple, yeah, apple, say it. Same way you teach a baby how to talk, nigga. Apple, say apple, apple, apple. Then we had to show, we just call all the fruit apple till we got to have a chance to sit down with you and break it down. They already said y'all call every fruit y'all seen grapes, everything y'all seen came on. That's why apple's so important. Cause everything was apple. Orange apple, pear was apple. Cause niggas just said, fuck it, man, they so dumb, just tell them apple. Apple. You bring more apple, bring more apple, bring more apple, bring more apple. Man, we hitting there with all kind of fruit. They called them all the fruit apple. They called them all the fruit apple. That's why the apple came so important. They was calling all the fruit apple. We just told one name, this apple. Bring an orange, grapefruit, peach, tangerine. They still calling all this shit apple. Until we got them, taught them the next phase. This not apple, this orange. Orange, yeah, orange. Apple, orange. We had to teach you this shit. Truth don't need no help, man. Ain't gonna be breaking our motherfucking fold. Salute to the gods, man. In the beginning, the word was God, and God was the word, God was the word with the gods, nigga. We had the words, nigga. And when you enslaved us, nigga, you enslaved God. And then when you did that, what you did, one and created one. I said, boom.